you guys run it all the way down to 0 before you do the effort? Was there anything?
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
You want a sports degree that is beyond the game? A degree that immerses you from day one and launches you into the business side of sports. With a sports management major from IUPUI's School of Health and Human Sciences, you'll have insider access to sports professionals and will learn from faculty with years of teaching and industry experience. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sport industry career.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
It's a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry-out?
Everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique, You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time. To pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
High school football fans, welcome back to Friday nights, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
And a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Indiana High School football here on IndianaSRN in conjunction with the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Tonight we have senior night festivities going on, so we're going to step out briefly, but we will have for you the Tindley Tigers at 1-3 on the season, battling the PurduePoly Techies, who come into the contest at 1-4. This is a home contest for Purdue on the campus of Howe High School. Again, we'll have more for you after this, but for now, enjoy senior night festivities. We'll be back in just a couple minutes for pregame and the kick.
Hard work is how we get better. Ladies and gentlemen, Daryl Stowers. And now we have cheerleader Tania Langston. Tania's position is the big dog or the beast. She's a second-year cheerleader. She's being escorted by Tamika Brown, her mother, Tony Langston, her dad, sisters and a brother, her nephew Babu, her grandmother all the way from North Carolina, Davion Reynolds, her boyfriend, who's on the phone. Her other sports are, she's number 3 in basketball, so be waiting on her. And also she runs track. Her future plans are to go to college and play basketball and definitely go play overseas while in college. My favorite memory with the cheer team is that I don't have one. Actually, I enjoyed everything and made the best of it and will miss all my people. Most embarrassing moment with her team, she's a senior and can't get a back bend. But she does have her tuck. So the accomplishment she's most proud of is getting her back tuck. Their advice to future players is don't worry about others, do what you come to do, and get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, Tania Langston. Let's hear it one more time for all of Purdue football and football cheer seniors. Thank you all so much.
Well, there you have it. Some festivities here for senior night for PurduePoly. Again, thank you for being a part of that. And thank you for joining us here on IndianaSRN for tonight's contest between the 1-3 Tindley Tigers and the 1-4 PurduePoly Techies. Jimmy Cook alongside Jarrett Lewis. Jarrett, this will be a fun one tonight. Both teams trying to continue to shape their seasons, put together their identities. Of course, as we know in the association, the way that tournament seating is set up or tournament play is set up in general, everybody that is an association school does get into the dance. So at least from Tindley's perspective of things, heading into this ball game, they know their goal will get better each week, trying to get back into the win column tonight against PurduePoly on the road here at Howe.
Coming off a loss last week to a very good Covenant Christian team who is going to be in battle with Heritage Christian tonight. That's going to be a fun one to watch on IndianaSRN. But for now, Tindley trying to, finish out the season strong. 1-3 is their record. Their lone win coming against South Decatur. They've been pretty competitive in some other games. A loss to Edinburgh to start the season was only a 3-point loss, and was able to move the ball last week against Covenant Christian, who again defending state champions, very tough team to tackle things with, losing 42-19, and trying to get back in that win column, like you said, on the road here at PurduePoly, here at Howe High School, and just a great opportunity for them to finish out this season strong. Only 4 weeks left in the regular season, including this one. We're in week 6, which is something that's really hard to believe. So, yeah, looking forward to this one. Haven't seen either of these teams this season, and we'll see just how well each of these schools can move the ball down the field. And hopefully on the defensive side, we'll see some stops, see a good close game.
PurduePoly, of course, not an association school, so they do not play in the IHSAA Big Dance or the state tournament, as it were. But for the Tindley Tigers, again, as we mentioned, they're very much still in the thick of things in Sectional 46, hoping to, like we said, get back to winning ways and get things started. Additionally, we should mention that both of these programs, Tindley, of course, not having a home field either, will be celebrating homecoming nights, respectively, for both schools during halftime. So there will be an extended halftime show in that regard. We might show some of that to you, but for the most part, it will be our traditional halftime routine And Jared mentions another key point in terms of our action tonight on the Indiana SRN family of networks. It is a full slate of games here on Indiana SRN. You can go to IndianaSRN.org, have your full listings of games, as well as follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN for all your scores, news, highlights, and more as things get squared away. We're just a few moments away from the national anthem, and we will step out for that. But, Jared, quickly a brief look at some of your keys tonight. We'll dive a little bit deeper into this, our next segment, from your keys for both sides of the ball. Starting first with the Tindley Tigers, like we mentioned, they're led by Deion Richmond, their quarterback. Hoping to see him get an opportunity to air it out tonight, but your keys on both sides here on homecoming night.
Yeah, I think just a balanced offensive attack from Tindley is sure to get things rolling, and they do just that, mix of run and pass. And Deion, who really tall left-handed quarterback, is helping his team average almost 20 points a game. The defense averaging 25 is what they give up to their opponents, so pretty even kill. A lot of those games for Tindley some of them have been blowouts, like the Covenant game and a loss earlier in the season to Park Tudor. But just keeping that balanced offensive attack and not giving up any big plays to PurduePoly. I think PurduePoly might see this a game as one where they can try to steal a win. Tindley on paper, probably the much better team, so they'll try to keep this game in their wraps. But PurduePoly, I think, will look for opportunities, try to force some turnovers, do anything they can to make things interesting. So for Tindley, limit the big plays and just keep up with that balanced offensive attack.
One of the biggest question marks for PurduePoly coming into this one, Jared, I would look at them being able to get points on the board. They come in averaging just under 10 points per game. Now, this is a Tindley team that gives up about 25 per. Both these teams, as they continue to try to find their footing amongst the season, are giving up more points than they are scoring. So scoring's probably going to come into premium on both sides tonight. The question is, will PurduePoly, the Techies, be able to keep up scoring-wise, considering they've struggled with it so far this season?
And just valuing each possession that you get. So, like you said, points could be coming at a premium. They're going to be pretty valuable throughout the game. Both teams kind of struggle to score, with PurduePoly giving up 35 to their opponents. And so for that, maybe try to have a more balanced attack as well, because they are a very run-heavy team. We'll see how much they put the ball through the air.
We'll step out and have the kick in a moment on IndianaSRN.
Hey folks, good to be with you for tonight's game. My name is Andy Simpson, and I'm a licensed IHSAA football official, and welcome to Friday Night Football, powered by IndianaSRN. On behalf of the 340 football officials, the IHSAA, the crew here at IndianaSRN, we hope you enjoyed tonight's game, and more important, don't forget to subscribe to the IndianaSRN YouTube page. As you're watching tonight's contest, I'm going to show you a few of our signals that will help you better understand the information we are trying to convey. Touchdown, safety, first down, holding or illegal use of hands, encroachment, or offsides commonly known, false start or illegal formation on the offense, or a free kick scrimmage violation, face mask, intentional grounding, roughing the passer, clipping, illegal shift, illegal motion, illegal block, pass interference by the offense or the defense, delay of game, and the one signal we dislike and you as fans don't like seeing, unsporting. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight and following us on IndianaSRN. You can also tune in to the Football Weekly Show and Coach's Show every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on IndianaSRN.org. Finally, if you've ever thought about becoming an IHSAA official, www.ihsaa.org and click on the Officials tab or call the IHSAA office at 317-846-6601. Now, sit back and enjoy the game.
Back here at Howe High School, Jimmy Cook and Jarrett Lewis for IndianaSRN in conjunction with the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Coin toss ceremony. Tindley will receive the ball in the second half. Toss was won by PurduePoly, and they chose to receive. It's kind of an old school way of operating, Jarrett. Usually winning the toss, at least nowadays, particularly the college and pro level, you want that football at the second half. You want to roll the dice and assume you'll get a chance to score before halftime, a little double dip action, and then get the ball to open the second half. The Techies decide they want to go old school with it. They want the ball. They're going to score. It's their mindset.
Yeah, and usually if you're the away team, you want to start off with the ball in the second half. You look at it from an NFL college perspective, and fans are kind of out in the stands or at the concession, restroom, whatever. So you have an opportunity to, with the limited crowd noise that there might be, to start off the drive in the second half. But the home team, PurduePoly, will see them in action first.
So Tindley kind of gets their wish in that regard. They will have the opportunity to receive the football when the second half gets underway. Kick is a end-over-ender that's going to be scooped out about the 25 to the 30. 35 breaking tackles to the 40, where he's finally brought down just short of the 40. That was a carry by Carter McDowell. And we'll get a first look at the PurduePoly Techies. Fun fact, we already mentioned homecoming tonight, but additionally, both schools associated with two top-tier Big Ten programs. The Techies, of course, associated with Purdue. Techies associated with Purdue, as you would expect. Tindley Tigers affiliated with IU. So a little mini bucket game, first annual tonight here, Jared. Good
That's
to
what
see
we're
the
seeing.
College tradition set up.
That's what we're seeing on the T-shirts. Both sides, Tindley and PurduePoly, wearing those inaugural mini bucket game T-shirts. So a great little thing to be a part of. History for us two tonight.
Devin Colvin will line up in the gun. Two wide receivers up top, one at the bottom. Takes the snap, drops back to pass, a little bit of a screen. Ben Bowling, who takes it and loses the football. I believe the Tigers have it. It's a strip on the first play from scrimmage. And let's wait for the signal. Tindley's got it.
Looks like Dion Richmond coming away with it. He's going to be staying out on the field and playing the quarterback position. Tall lefty, getting on top of that football. How about the first play? Tindley forcing a turnover. It's a good way to start this game if you're the Tigers. After a great return from PurduePoly, they got the ball to the 39, and now Tindley will have it in opponent territory at the 38.
Tigers want to take a timeout. We'll take one as well. 11:49 left to go in this first quarter. Tindley ball just outside the 35 on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has two warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Howe High School. Miscommunication between the center and the quarterback for the Tigers. It's a snap that goes past his legs. He wasn't ready for it. Tigers able to dive on it. But it'll be a loss of about 15, 20 yards there, Jared.
The yard marker keeps going back. Let's get the actual count here. I think it's 15. 15 on the dot.
So we'll call it 15. We'll take Jared's measurement for it.
I'm not sure who had first two plays of the game to be fumble and then a backwards play minus 15 yards.
Want to buy a lottery ticket if you're that gentleman. Dion Richmond in the gun. We'll call it first and 15 from the 46. Pressure coming. Fires a shot deep downfield into double coverage. He had a man wide open. It was Donovan Gilder, but could not see him. So it'll be third down. My correction earlier on first down. It was a fumbled snap to begin with. So there was your first down. Second down, the long incompletion. It's a third and forever from the 46 for the Tigers.
Yeah, Tigers look like they like to put the ball through the air. They got some athletes split out wide, and Richmond, just such a tall body, he's going to be able to look over everybody on the defensive side.
6'5", 200 for the sophomore. Quite a frame. 5 on the play clock. Richmond takes the snap. Wild snap, able to gather it. He's going to try to run. Pressure coming. Gets away from it. He'll scoop it, try to stiff arm, and he's finally brought down by number 34, Kendall Day. So it'll be 4th down. Jarrett, this game has been pretty crazy. We're only a couple minutes in. You're right. Past midfield, do you roll the dice here and go for it, or do you punt it away?
I think so. I mean, why not? They've looked to be aggressive, putting the ball through the air. It looks like the punt unit's going to come out, unfortunately.
Much to the dismay of Deion Richmond.
But after great field position, hate to throw away a possession like that. If you're Tindley, very first play, you're going backwards and then trying to dig yourself out of a hole. Difficult thing to overcome, but they'll play the field position game.
So Tigers get ready to try to pin him deep. End over ender. Pressure came. Trying to scoop that is McDowell, and it'll bounce off of him. He'll dive on it. Let's see. I think it's going to be just down by the Tigers. I believe that's what it's going to be initially called, but there is some laundry on the field.
And it came from the head official. Punter took a hit and went down from Tindley. Victor Roberts, the punter, took a hit. It wasn't a lot of contact, but with the penalty, it looks like the head referee signals a first down for Tindley.
Now, well, if it was roughing it, I mean, it was 4th and about probably
17, I believe. Now, is it an automatic first down is the question, because right now it looks like it's 4th and 2 according to the down marker.
Yeah, it's not an automatic foul in not an automatic foul in.
I'll check that. They're giving it a first down.
Alrighty. So the Tigers will be in business. 1st and 10. I'll hand it off with space. There goes Hampton to the 5. Touchdown, Tigers! In the battle for the mini bucket, the Tindley Tigers score first. Devian Hampton from 15 yards out.
A lot of space to work with. You could drive a Mack truck through that hole. Nice hole created by the Tindley O-line, and Hampton showing a lot of speed. No one's going to catch him. And even if they were on the opposite side of the field, I think he's taking it all the way. Nobody was going to run him down.
So a strong drive, and again, we got to look at it at least from the Techies standpoint. That will go down as a muffed punt. Or excuse me, the penalty is what moved the yardage. My correction. So the penalty moves the yardage. So a mental miscue there. You're gonna have the ball inside your own 10. Granted, Tigers able to try to take advantage. Extra point is no good. Wide left. 9:44 left to go in this first quarter. Tigers on top of the Techies. 6-0 on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that fuels your passion for sports and physical activity. IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences offers that and more. You'll have insider access to sports, fitness, and exercise science professionals and learn from faculty with years of industry experience. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll study next to world-class sports facilities, Olympic governing bodies, the NCAA, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sports industry career. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Back here at Howe High School, Jimmy Cook alongside Jarrett Lewis. 9:44 to go in quarter number 1 of this battle between the Tindley Tigers and the PurduePoly Techies. A battle for the mini bucket, a little ode to the old Oaken bucket. That Indiana and Purdue battle for Tindley, some ties to IU, affiliated with the school. Purdue obviously affiliated with the Boilermakers. So
who do you got in that game? I know it's a while away, but as of right now.
I'm a proud IU alum, and I'll never pick Purdue in anything other than wish them well in the tournament. That kick's going to be taken by McDowell. He's looking for a hole, and will bring it all the way to the 35-yard line. So the second official possession of the night for the Techies. First time out, first play from scrimmage. Screen pass, strip and a fumble. And the Tigers end up scoring out of that. Let's take a look back at this nice run.
Just look at this hole. Off the right tackle. Got some wide receivers downfield for Hampton. Just too easy for Tindley. Look, and they had just little success. A couple incompletions and nowhere to go for Richmond when he was looking to throw, but the run game was quite there.
It'll be a quarterback keeper. Colvin, gain of 5 on the play. So one possession down. The Techies take care of the football that time, learning from that first drive. They had business for 2nd and 5, Jared.
Decent looking run for Colvin, and coming into this, what we learned about the PurduePoly offense was they're really a run-heavy team. In the very first play, he's looking to pass.
Yeah, you and I were both surprised by that, given how heavy run emphasis was expected from Coach Cook.
Yeah, a spread offense. Look, they got 2 receivers near side, a big receiver towards the far side. So they're spreading things out.
Colvin keeps it again. Swallowed up, but he'll gain 3 or 4 there. It'll bring up about 3rd and 2.
Another thing about PurduePoly is they've utilized a lot of quarterbacks this season. Colvin had started a game at quarterback early on in the regular season, and they've moved around a lot of guys getting injured. So they've had a couple of different quarterbacks in at that position, trying to figure out what exactly is working for them.
3rd and 2 from the Techies' own 43-yard line. Colvin. Low snap. They'll hand it off. Fighting towards the first down. They won't get there. Maybe a gain of a yard. In fact, they'll say no gain on the play. So 4th and 2. And it'll be decision time for the Techies.
Right now, it looks like the offense is staying out there. Aaron Wright, one of the running backs, getting his first touch, but not a big defensive line for Tindley. But it looks like they got some athletic guys, some tall, long
There's size
guys.
Up there. There's size and length on the line, no doubt about that.
Arm length, going to play a factor against the PurduePoly offense. And look, they're
almost a goal line look. See, they try to sneak it. Now they'll indeed hand it off, trying to get around the outside. The Tigers make the stop. Tigers defense holds. Brian Stanfield on the stop for Tindley, and they turn the Techies away on 4th down.
And you saw Stanfield coming in from the weak side. Wright has no idea where he's coming from. We'll get another look at it here. He's at the top of your screen. He's actually it came from the middle, so nobody in the middle picking up Stanfield. He just bulldozed his way through there, but came in from behind against Wright, and the blockers in front of Wright kind of got bunched up, so there wasn't a whole lot of room for Wright to work with, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
This will be 1st and 10 from the Techies 43. Richmond in the gun. Takes the snap. They'll hand it off to Hampton. He'll gain 3, maybe 4 on the play. Out to the 39-yard line. Call it a gain of 3. He's 2nd and about 7.
Another good-looking run play. Nice way to start your drive. New set of chains for Tindley on their 2nd possession. Some nice holes here early on for Hampton. He's got 34 yards on just his 2 carries.
Richmond takes the snap. They'll hand off to Hampton again. He's got a big hole. Burst of speed. Going to get the outside. One man to beat. He'll be tackled from behind. Sniffing pay dirt and a touchdown-saving tackle by Daryl Stowers. What an effort by the Techies. But the Tigers in business. 1st and goal.
Just another humongous hole for Hampton. And with the way things are going now, he might have to buy a steak dinner for this offensive line for the holes that he is giving them, and he is doing it all for his team. Has the Tindley Tigers inside the 5-yard line.
I think they'll settle for some Papa John's, but you're going.
Pizza will do.
You're pulling it out for the
pizza will
steak
work.
Dinner. Keeper in the flat. It's in the dirt. Be second down. Second and goal.
Joseph Glenn out in the flat. Kind of a little. Had some options, did Richmond. You fake the give up the middle and then kind of had 3 guys out towards that side running different routes. So you have your options back of the end zone at the goal line, or you had Glenn out in the flat, and Glenn was the only one open. But you'll take that incompletion. You still got 2nd and 4.
Second and goal from the 4. Keeper going to walk into the end zone as Richmond for the touchdown. Deion Richmond from 4 yards out in the blink of an eye, 12-0 Tigers.
Richmond's 0 for 3 passing the football, but in the run game, the Tindley Tigers are looking extraordinary there. Richmond now 13 carries. The 4-yard scamper's good for their 2nd score, and early on, Tindley building up some momentum, working well. They're clicking offensively. How about the offensive line doing some great work in just these 4 minutes of play that we've had? Or excuse me, 6 minutes of play.
Tigers going to try this extra point again. Plenty of pressure got to the kicker last time. Good snap, good hold. Kick is good. Right down the middle. 6:08 left to go in this first quarter. Tigers 13. Techies nothing. Stay with us on IndianaSRN.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Welcome back to Howe High School. 6:08 left to go in this first quarter. All Tigers of Tindley. The battle for the mini bucket. Homecoming 2021 for both these programs. Jimmy Cook alongside Jarrett Lewis. Again, thank you so much for spending part of your Friday evening with us here on IndianaSRN. Jarrett, another impressive drive by the Tigers, this time getting it done once again on the ground.
And it's the run game, yeah, just like you said. They've had 3 attempts that have come up empty passing the football with Richmond, but he shows that dual threat ability and shows that length. He's going to cover a lot of ground with those long legs.
Taken out by Carter McDowell to about the 35-yard line. Give credit to McDowell in terms of return yardage. He's been very consistent, getting out to about the 35, close to the 40 for all 3 of his returns tonight.
Every return, just like you said. And he's had 3, 1 to the 40-yard line, 2 now to the 35. But the offense has yet to find something that's working. Colvin on the ground has been the only thing that has gotten anything done. No first downs yet to talk about for PurduePoly.
They came close on their drive last time out, but were snuffed away by Brian Stanfield and company. 1st and 10 from their own 35. Colvin, fumble on the ground. Do the Techies have it? Like Colvin was first to it, and he does indeed. So Purdue will keep it alive. 2nd down, loss of a couple there.
They're trying that jet sweep. It looks like it was Stowers in motion and just snapping it too late. You got to time that. Something you work on in practice, figuring out your timing in plays like that. Make sure you're snapping it at the right time so you don't have something happen just like what happened there.
Loss of about 3 on the play. Call it 2nd and 13. Colvin in the gun. He'll take the snap. Drops back to pass. Pressure coming. Batted down at the line. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd and long.
A lot of pressure there, and trying to look over that defensive line was Colvin. I believe getting his hands on it was Jeffrey Pinkston on that defensive line wearing number 50. Talked about that size earlier on the previous possession that the men in the trenches have for Tindley, and getting to the quarterback. Colvin has to get it out quickly, but unable to get it over the outstretched arms.
Yeah, the pressure has been fierce so far by the Tigers. 3rd and 12 from their own 32. Techies trail 13-0. High snap. Colvin's going to try to keep it himself, and he'll be swallowed up. Hard hit there on the outside by Keyshawn McGill. Be 4th down, and the punting unit will take center stage for the Techies.
McGill gets the tackle, but it's Pinkston again setting that edge, getting around the right tackle. As that right tackle, you're trying to get in front and kind of seal off that area for Colvin to go towards. And with a lead block, trying to seal that edge, you'll get a good look at it here. But it's Pinkston who shakes the right tackle, or actually it was the wingback who came out to block him. And just like that, it's easy for Tindley, gain tackle, and force the loss of yardage.
Tigers set to punt it away. Nice spiral punt. That's muffed initially, and here come the Tigers. Jaden Pinkston down the sideline to the 50, 45-40. One man to beat. He's finally knocked out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. Heck of a return after the botched fielding there. Sets the Tigers up pretty.
So it's Jeffrey Pinkston who does the work defensively, and then Jaden on the punt return initially muffs it, but still had plenty of time to gather it in. PurduePoly late getting down on the punt coverage. And nice blockers up front, kind of setting up a little punt return right, and Pinkston had them set up in good field position initially, but it looks like may have either stepped out of bounds or there was a flag on the play.
I think he just stepped out of bounds. He was walking that sideline like a tightrope, but could not keep his momentum in. So it'll be at about the 45-yard line, 1st and 10. That's where the Tigers will set up shop for their second drive of the ball game. So far, 2 drives, 2 scores, both on the ground. First from Devion Hampton, the other one from Dion Richmond. Richmond in the gun. They'll hand it off. Moving those legs is Ty Miller on the carry. Change of pace work.
It's now 3 different guys that have touched the football in the run game for Tindley. Get a good first look at Ty Miller, and again, it's 7 yards. Just chunk plays, running the football for Tindley. So that's a easy situation, 2nd and 4 now.
Ball on the Techies 39-yard line. 2 running backs in the backfield behind Richmond. Takes the snap. He hands it off. Hampton is brought down from behind. What an effort by Daryl Stowers. And it makes it a difficult 3rd down for the Tigers.
The first kind of 3rd and long situation for Tindley upcoming. Stowers doing a nice job. Hampton maybe trying to do just a little bit too much going backwards, trying to make something out of nothing. Instead, he puts himself and the team in a 3rd and 9 situation. We could see Tindley put the ball through the air again.
Haven't seen it in a while, and as you mentioned,
have
yet to complete a pass tonight.
Richmond's 0-2.
Dion Richmond looking at the play sheet. He's got 1 second on the play clock. I don't know if any officials have seen it. The far side official did, and a timeout is going to be used. We'll take one as well. 3:42 left to go in this first quarter. 3rd and 9 to the Tigers after this on IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Howe High School. 3rd and 9 for the Tigers. Takes the snap as Richmond. He'll fire a rope across the middle. It's caught! Caught at the 21-yard line. I believe that was Jaden Pinkston, but tough to tell from our vantage point.
Yeah, the numbers are kind of hard to see. They got gray on the white, and
I believe it was Pinkston.
It was number 8. That's Pinkston.
Jaden Pinkston, after that impressive return, makes a nice snag for a gain of about 24.
First completion. Throwing the football for Richmond.
It'll be 1st and 10. Low snap, it's kicked, and it's going to be scooped up by Miller. Broken play. He's going to get first down yardage and more. Steps out of bounds just past the first down marker. Things going right for the Tigers. They were a wild snap. Miller knew exactly where it was. Able to pick up the first down for Tindley on a broken play.
Yeah, let's see that again. So Miller, it kicks off of Richmond, and Miller, one-on-one situation. I think Miller likes his chances.
Too fast, too quick.
Getting around the edge.
So we'll call it 1st and goal to go from the 10-yard line. And the Techies moved on the hard count. Richmond got him.
Everybody on the Techies moved, even the
that's one of those.
The secondary. And
it's one of those where at Hockey League or whatever NFL ref of the day you want to reference will say, offsides.
Everybody.
The entire defensive line, exactly. Yep. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 5 on the 5-yard penalty. 2 wide receivers split out to the bottom of your screen. One up top. One up top is Pinkston. Joseph Glenn at the bottom of your screen. Richmond takes the snap. He hands off to Miller, spinning, turning. He's got to be stopped. Good effort there by Emmanuel Bryant to make the play. And we got a late flag, likely for extracurriculars.
Well after the play, and great defensive effort there by Bryant. Kind of the first time we've seen the defensive line for PurduePoly make a stop for minimal gain. In fact, it was just 1 yard or maybe 0. And now we'll check the flag. Referees with the discussion for the moment. Unsportsmanlike is the call against PurduePoly, against Tindley. That'll push them back.
Yeah, so we got about, that'll move it back to.
It's a hefty penalty.
That's a tough one, particularly with how close they were.
They had the ball at the 5-yard line. Now they're outside the 20 at the 21.
Backs them up 15 yards, making it 1st and goal from the 20.
So it'll be 1st and goal for the 20. The PA crew says here. After all that, 2nd and goal from the 20, rather. Richmond takes the snap. He looks, fires in the flat. It's caught by Donovan Gilder. That'll get a fair amount of that yardage back, but it'll bring up 3rd and goal from about the 13-yard line.
Yeah, I like Coach Melvin Graham keeping it simple. You have a 1st and a while to go. Now it's 3rd down, so it was 2nd down. Just a quick hitter with Richmond. You know, you have PurduePoly playing off a lot, so you just throw those hitches, and it was able to work out.
I think this is 4-down territory for the Tigers.
I think so too. I mean, you've been working so well offensively. You could still see a running play here.
Richmond takes the snap, hands off. It's Hampton turning, fighting, and he'll be brought down a couple yards short. We'll call it 4th and goal now from the 7, and decision time for the Tigers.
Yeah, I think you go for it here, and PurduePoly lucky to get that shoestring tackle. Nice effort defensively. Darion Cantrell there to take down Hampton, who he had a lot of space to work with again.
I would try to go with the pass.
Yeah, sure thing.
Worst case, try to draw a penalty. They will do that. Richmond fires in the end zone. Broken up! Broken up by Carter McDowell. He says no.
Great defensive play by Carter McDowell. If Richmond and it was Pinkston, if he runs that route hard down the line and Richmond throws it on a line, I think that's a touchdown. But he didn't throw didn't throw his best ball, didn't put enough on it, and that's what allowed McDowell to get in there and break it up. Almost nearly took it the other way for 6.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it again. You have to make a break on that ball if you're the receiver, the way it was placed. And it was read the whole time by McDowell. But at that point, if you're Pinkston, you got to come to the football, understand where that ball is, try to make a play on it. Because if that play is made by McDowell, Jared, that's house. We're going 6, and that's the end of the story.
No doubt about it. And you saw it in the throw from Richmond. If he puts a little bit more zip on it, that might be 6 for Tindley. But great defensive effort there from McDowell.
Colvin in the gun. 45 seconds left to go. In quarter number 1, Techies in a 13-0 hole. And a flag's going to come out. See where the laundry is assigned. Both teams pointing their respective ways.
The coaches are looking at the play clock because the play clock is still at 6, and when they threw the flag, it was at 12. But the referee comes from the back judge, who I believe is keeping the play clock on the field, even though the play clock is still
There's a chance this is an inadvertent flag.
No, they're still going to call it. Delay a game will push him back half the distance. So, yeah, a little confusion there. PurduePoly coaches aren't sure if the time is being kept on the field, which it appears that it is, even though the play clock is running on the scoreboard.
So they're going to call delay of game. On the Techies. Then they're going to have to reassess the game clock.
Yeah, you saw Colvin was kind of sitting there taking his time, letting a little bit of the clock wind down. And out of nowhere, you get a whistle and a flag from the back judge who's keeping the play clock on the field, and he's confused. PurduePoly coaches are confused, but now it looks like they're going to stick with the play clock just being on the field.
So now it's 1st and 15 for about the 5-yard line. A world of trouble for the Techies. How much pressure will the Tigers bring? Colvin takes the snap. He's lit up initially, able to get rid of the ball, though, on a handoff. Ball might be out. Let's see.
They came out. Wright coughed it up, and I believe it was the quarterback, Colvin, who was able to fall on it, and now Wright's getting up. He's a little shaken up after the play.
Colvin's headed to the sidelines as well. He was clocked.
I don't know if PurduePoly should run a play.
Yeah, that's likely going to be. That'll likely be the last play of the quarter as we wait for things to close. And indeed, that will be. End of your first quarter here. Tindley Tigers on top of the PurduePoly Techies, 13-0 for the first annual Battle of the Mini Bucket, right here on IndianaSRN. Back here at Howe High School, Jimmy Cook alongside Jarrett Lewis. Start of the second quarter about to get underway. All Tigers at this point, 13-0. Both their scoring drives got done on the ground. Should be noted they were turned away, turnover on downs their last time with the football. And that's kind of where we still stand. The Techies having made that stop at some penalty yardage. And a gain of about 1 or 2 on their last run play before the end of the quarter puts us in this spot. Still about 2nd and 15.
Real tough position to be in if you're Purdue Poly backed up in your own end zone and your previous drives haven't looked crisp at all, whether it's running the football or throwing it.
Colvin in the gun. Makes some changes and now ready for the snap. Takes the snap. Dropping back into the end zone. Has to fire it away quickly. Broken up. He had no choice but to get rid of that or risk giving up the safety. That'd be 3rd down.
Just immediate pressure, and Tindley's bringing at least 6, and they have been for quite some time now. Pressure up the middle, pressure on the outside, and Colvin just has to get it away quickly. It's a dangerous situation because
we're asking a lot of everybody, particularly up in the trenches when you're this far back into your own end zone, and the athleticism on the defensive line in particular with Tindley.
And Colvin has to take a risk. He has to get that ball out. Doesn't want to take the safety, but you're almost, kind of giving Tindley a shot to undercut a route and get a pick 6, and it would be an easy pick 6 just 2 yards outside of the goal line.
So it'll be, we'll call it 3rd and 15.
We'll see how many guys Tindley brings this time, but they have been bringing the pressure from everywhere, making it hard for Colvin to find anywhere to go.
Colvin in the gun, already in his own end zone to take this snap. Finalizes things at the line. Tigers show blitz. Colvin takes the snap. Pressure coming. Swallowed up. Fires his shot downfield. It is incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Donovan Gilder. It'll be 4th down and likely a punting situation for the Techies.
Nearly a house call for Tindley, and the receiver comes back a second earlier. If he locates that football a second earlier and is able to come back, he can nearly box out the defensive back that is on him and prevent him from intercepting that and maybe even reeling that pass in. And it would have been a 1st down as well for Purdue Poly. But again, the pressure, and it's mostly coming from the edge. Tindley is having 3 guys down, and they're standing 2 guys on the outside. So 5-2 look looks like what they're going with, and those guys on the outside are bringing the pressure every time.
4th and 15, Colvin out there. You'd likely think a pooch punt situation. No, he's going to keep it himself and run for it, and Colvin is brought down. If our yardage is correct, and again, there have been changes on here. You have to forgive us with our situation. If that is accurate, well, the marker down there was listed as That was listed as 4th down on our marker, but now they're shifting it to 4th down. So now it's 4th down apparently. I don't know. Just going off the yardage marker that was out there.
I
what are you gonna do?
I thought that last play was 4th down.
All right, so you're with me on that.
Yes.
All right, I appreciate you going down with the ship.
I'm a little confused.
Our producer's with us. So anyway, 5th down. There's the punt.
And our producer's always right.
Exactly. Take it with speed by Pinkston. He might go. Walks into the end zone for the touchdown. So regardless of what down it was, Jaden Pinkston, he showed acceleration and speed on his last opportunity, but he stepped out of bounds. This time he makes it right. Takes it for a house call for 6.
Yeah, it was kind of a matter of when and not if. Tindley was either going to do it defensively with an interception, maybe a sack fumble in the end zone, and get a safety with the pressure they were bringing. Great job of Colvin of able to get that football out. But now you're punting in the back of your own end zone, and it's an easy 30-yard return for Pinkston, showing off his speed and athleticism.
I'll tell you this much, Jared. If you are a fan of IU football, you're hopeful that this is the type of action that you get in the real Oak and Bucket game, because this has been dominant performance. They're going to go for 2, trying to get around the edge, and they will get the 2-point try. Running it in is Devion Hampton to make it 21-0. All Tigers here with 11:33 left to go in this first half. Back after this on IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Back to live action. Punt return taken by McDowell. He'll be deep cleated near the 40-yard line. And that's where we'll see this Techies offense once again.
McDowell wears 35, and 3 out of the 4 returns, he's gotten the football to the 35. So, interesting coincidence there.
Yeah, he's been insanely consistent.
He has
on the returns. Can't argue that.
The offense, however, has not been as.
Take a look back at the return there.
There's been some decent punts coming from, I believe it's Kendall Day that's been the punter, and it's just too easy. It's so many players behind the play for PurduePoly, and Pinkston only had to avoid one player at the very beginning once he received that punt.
You know, when you're playing Madden, you use the acceleration, right trigger usually on most controllers. He took that off at about the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
It was just a stroll
he really
into
didn't
the end
need
zone.
To use it that much.
Colvin, pressure coming, throws up a wild pass. It's nearly picked off. Broken up, another nice play by Donovan Gilder.
We talked about how impressive the size is on the defensive line for Tindley, but also the size in the secondary. Gilder is a pretty big frame. Along with Pinkston, those two guys playing the defensive back spots, and they've just – the defensive line is doing the job, getting the pressure to Colvin in the backfield, and the secondary is just feeding off of that, reacting to wherever the football's being thrown.
Techies have been lucky. There have been a couple picks already tonight. 2nd and 10 from their own 35-yard line. 3 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen, 1 up top. Colvin takes the snap. It's a handoff. Looking for space and unable to find any. Was Mitch Wheeler.
It was Wheeler indeed. Kind of kept those legs churning, able to make this a 3rd and manageable upcoming for PurduePoly. So the playbook's kind of still open wide here on this 3rd down situation. It may be 4th down territory for PurduePoly as well.
So 3rd and 5 from their own 40 for PurduePoly. They trail 21-0, trying to get some points on the board here. Early stages, 2nd quarter. Tigers once again show pressure. They'll bring it. Colvin, swallowed up. That'll bring up 4th down.
PurduePoly lucky they're running away a little bit from the blitz. Came from that far side, and Colvin running it near side, able to pick up 1 yard. I think this might be 4th down territory still. Just with how things are going, you gotta make something happen. You gotta find a little spark, and it could happen here in this 4th down spot.
I like your philosophy. They're going to take a timeout. I would not go for this if I'm PurduePoly. You're not past midfield yet, but they'll talk about it here after this timeout. We'll be back after this. This broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, or audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Jimmy Cook alongside Jarrett Lewis, 9:56 left to go in this first half. Tigers lead at 21-0. Techies with the football trying to get some points on the board. Look like they're going to go for it on this 4th and 4 from their own 41-yard line. Colvin in the gun. Takes the snap. Drop backs the pass. He falls down and is sacked. Got caught underneath his own feet. Turnover on downs for the second time tonight. We've seen a turnover on downs occur.
Well, you were right, Jimmy. I think probably should have punted it away. And I think the timeout, it was a good use of a timeout because it looked like PurduePoly actually came with some help. They knew the pressure was going to come. They left the running back there to pick up the blitz. As you can see, I think Mitch Wheeler
it looks like he just got his feet caught underneath him.
Wheeler tried with the help side, and if Colvin has some space, keeps his feet underneath him, he might be able to step up and possibly run for the first down. But also, the routes by PurduePoly looked like they were going well beyond the first down line. So maybe instead of making those long routes,
that's a short yardage situation right there.
It sure is. You want to run some hitches, run some slants or something right at the sticks and pick up that first down. Give Colvin a quick hitter type of pass.
And we had go routes all over the place instead. Little trickeration. Miller trying to get the edge. Cuts back. It's going to come back either way. It's a hold, likely on the Tigers. We'll wait for official confirmation, but I think that one's coming back.
Yeah, they had two guys pulling out on the jet sweep for Tindley. Looked like Joe Phillips was one of them in on the action. He might be guilty of that hold, and kind of the first mistake that the Tindley offensive line has made all night. They have been doing their job, creating those holes, and just a little bit too much on the jersey grab.
So that'll move things back. Really test this Tigers offense, who by and large tonight, not wavered once. Just the one turnover on downs for them. But other than that, that's about it. Dropping back deep, about a 6-step drop. Richmond, a bullet to Pinkston right through his fingers. Had Jaden Pinkston again. Streaking towards pay dirt, but just through his fingers. Heck of a shot, though, and again, just really good movement, particularly feet-wise in the pocket there by Richmond. That was a 6 or 7 step drop,
and he was real casual with it, with his steps. We'll get another look at it here. Slinging it, good arm on him if Pinkston
That's
grabs
what Pinkston
that.
probably needs to have, I'll be honest, and I'm sure they'll be joking with him about it afterwards in the huddle, and when they look at the film on Monday, but that's one you probably got to have.
He knows he should have had that one. It would have had him.
Richmond's going to take a shot again, deep downfield, overthrew his receiver. Looked like he was intending for Glenn there. Glenn's a big fella. That's asking a lot of him to try to get underneath that ball.
It sure is. It's a difference between Pinkston and Glenn. Both guys are pretty nice goal line targets if you were to get that close. But just a little bit too far out of the reach of Glenn. Tindley has put together some well-run plays. The routes have been looking good, and they're getting their guys open.
So it'll be 3rd down. 3rd and about 15. The official marking on the field has not changed that yet, but the in-house scoreboard in our board here for you at home, see that it's 3rd down. We were kind of fooled by this earlier. Richmond takes the snap. Pressure coming. He's going to try to get it with his legs. He wants blockers. Has space to the 40, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds. He got back a high-end amount of yardage, but only back to the original line of scrimmage. And for the first time tonight, legitimately the first time tonight, because there was a roughing the punter called, we're going to see a punt from Tindley. I would think. Maybe you go for it here.
It's still 4th and manageable. It looks like it's going to be.
You're right, my mistake. So they're moving so it is. It's about 4th and 7.
Well, the yard marker still says 3rd down. I thought we just played 3rd down. We're getting a little mixed up.
The chain gang's a bit of behind. They're about a down behind. That's all right.
Now they're caught up, and they will go for it here.
So it's 4th and 7. Richmond takes the snap, a bit of a low snap. He sees green grass in front of him. He'll take a shot. Cross body, has a man wide open for the touchdown. Did he make the catch? Let's see. Back judge. I think he might have said he was out of bounds or hit the turf.
He sure did. Everybody thinks
that's going to come off the board.
Everyone thinks he scored, but the back judge is right there. He had the best angle at it. We may get another look at it here, too, as well. But he came in And he waves the safe sign.
Yeah, he's out of the back of the end zone. That's a great call by the official. Really tough to tell from our vantage point, but he caught that ball about 3 or 4 yards out of bounds. Heck of a catch still, but got to come off the board.
Heck of a play, heck of a risk by Richmond.
That throw, do we have that one more time?
Let's take a look at that
throw
play
was
again
nuts.
It was a great.
That's all right. The throw was looked like cross body. It's a heck of a bomb. Just overshot him a tad.
Great.
And he had he been able to get the feet down, I think it would have been fine. But his momentum carried him backwards. Turnover on downs as the Tigers roll the dice.
Great.
Techies looking to take advantage.
Great capture by the man upstairs. Ben Wood on the camera.
Colvin, pressure. That's a block in the back. That's coming back. Regardless what happens, 2 blocks in the back. Likely a chop block in there as well. Techies will be moving backwards on this one.
Going back to that previous play by Tindley, that's a play, too. When they look back at film, Richmond's going to see a lot of green grass in front of him, and I think if he keeps that ball and tucks it, he's going to easily pick up that first down, but he was thinking 6.
He thought about, or he took off the previous down, if you remember. He got a lot of that yardage back. I don't know if maybe he didn't think he could get there, and then he just saw the opportunity for 6, or if you're right, which is equally plausible, he wanted 6 right away, found an open receiver, and wanted to take the shot.
He wasn't thinking 6 yards. He was thinking
No,
he
was.
points.
He was going for 6.
That's all they needed, I think, was 5 or 6 yards to pick up
Yep.
that first. And I think he'll see that play on film, and he'll see the green grass in front, and next time he'll be able to tuck that and run.
There's a strong argument to be made that he probably could have gotten that yardage on the ground. So it'll be a block in the back, I believe, is the call by the officials. I believe it'll be first and about 20. Colvin takes the snap. Another rough snap, and he's swallowed up for another big loss. Initial penetration through the trenches by the Tigers has been on point all this half.
It looked like a botched play, too. I think immediately Colvin, when he got the snap, it didn't look like the way the blockers in front of him were set up in the play. It didn't look like Colvin that was on a design run there. It looked like kind of a botched play of some sort, and Colvin was just trying to make something out of nothing. So now again, PurduePoly a third and
forever is what we're marking it as.
Third and country mile.
There you go.
Bill
there it
Lobo would
is.
say.
There you go. Well done. Third and country mile is very southern United States way of going about it. But it is all the same. Very, very accurate. And we're going to get probably delay a game, I think is what that's going to be. Unless it was an inadvertent flag. No, it will be delay a game.
Yeah,
so the Techies will move back a little more.
They're really shooting themselves in the foot. But Colvin, every single play, is coming over to the sideline to get the play from the coach. So that's why it's taken so long for PurduePoly, and they may not realize just how much time they have because the clock is being managed by the referees on the field. So just a little adjustment that they have to make.
Here's the snap. That one, he's hit as he throws. It's a duck tipped in the air, picked off and intercepted. Intercepted by the Tigers deep into Techies territory. Looked like it was a couple defenders in the area.
We'll be able to find out right here after. We'll look at this replay again. It's the pressure.
I think it was Elijah Gurton.
PurduePoly just can't pick it up. Tindley bringing 6 again off the edge. Hit as he
number
throws.
2. So it was Marquise Dean on the pick.
Yes, it was. Number 2, Dean.
And again, just be fully transparent with our audience. We are operating with the information that either Tindley gave us or what's available on Max Prep. So if this is your young student athlete out there, we do want to get all our coverage right. We're just going with the materials that we have available to us. Here's a handoff and a face mask likely going to be thrown. Let's see if they actually throw that penalty. Hampton looked like he got a little rung up there. They won't throw the flag, but he'll gain a couple on the play. It'll bring up second down. Second and goal.
That was Emmanuel Bryant immediately meeting the back in the backfield. And from our vantage point, we were looking at
we had the zoomed up.
We had a nice camera shot there. It looks like Bryant kind of put his paw on the face mask, maybe not grabbing it enough for the referee to call, but close encounter there.
While we have a second, big shout out to Ben Wood upstairs and Nick Lunas doing a great job on the 1s and 2s for us tonight. Richmond, low snap. He's just going to fall on it. That's the smart call, give himself up. Set up 3rd and goal, but they're once again, this is the second time we've seen this tonight, Jarrett. They're in goal-to-go situations from inside about 5 yards, and like you mentioned, shooting themselves in the foot. Now you got the 3rd and 12, or 3rd and goal from about the 12, from 13. Give or take. Not the situations you want for the Tigers. Richmond takes this snap, fakes the handoff, fires a bullet. Slant is dropped. And now it's 4th down.
It was there. Pretty well designed play call from Tindley. You fake the run up the middle. And
this time I think the Tigers might be taking the points.
They're going to send the field goal unit out is what it looks like. This will be an interesting look. You don't normally see the field goal unit out on the team. At this level, you have smaller schools that you're kind of surprised when you see something like that. But this will be something to talk about.
They're 1 for 2 on regular extra points tonight. They also had a 2-point conversion successful as well. Good snap, and it's a fake. Pump fake, trying to get a pass across the way, nearly picked off. So the Tigers go to the bag of tricks on 4th down, and the Techies snuff it out.
First little trickeration that we've seen tonight, and it was Joseph Glenn who's the holder, and immediately stands up on the fake. Wasn't going to kick it at all, and it wasn't there. Tigers opting to go to the short side of the field, too, on that fake. I think maybe if you come near side, you got a little bit more room to work with. You can run at least 2 guys out on a route to look after, but they went short side, and fortunately not going to pay off for them this time.
So now it's going to be 1st and 10. For about the 10-yard line.
Let's see how PurduePoly deals with the pressure of this drive.
Colvin in the gun. Sends a man in motion, and they will try to go jet sweep. This is a nice big gainer. 1 tackle to break. He'll stay on his feet before he's finally brought down. Daryl Stowers on the jet sweep, and the first time tonight. Techies move the chains.
I think that's a good play call. That's what you got to do when they bring pressure. You just have little quick hitters. You mix things up. You're not looking for the long pass. You're immediately getting it to your playmakers and giving them space to work with. Nice play call there. Nice choice by Coach Cook and PurduePoly.
Coach Cook and company staying with it. Get that first down with about 5 minutes to go in this first half. Tigers lead at 21-0. Techies with the football. About the 30-yard line. Colvin once again in the gun. Sends a man in motion again. This time it's Stowers. Be a keeper. Colvin will instead hand it off late. I believe that was Aaron Wright on the carry. He'll gain 1, maybe 2 on the play.
I like the idea of PurduePoly having Stowers in motion, kind of trying to figure out what kind of defensive look Tindley is in, and they might key in on Stowers. That play works so well. Their longest offensive play by far so far in this game. So kind of put him in motion, make Tindley start thinking, and then that might create some sort of hole with the defense overshifting.
Call it 2nd and 8 from just past the 30. Colvin takes the snap. He swallowed up from behind. Tigers bring pressure. I believe it was Joseph Glenn making the stop from behind. That'll be 3rd down.
Glenn was the one who tried to orchestrate that fake on the fake field goal, and here PurduePoly had a pulling guard from that right side, and that's where the blitz came from. 2 guys for Tindley, just had wide open space to work with, and they used that speed to get in the backfield and force Colvin into a loss of 5 or 6 yards.
So 3rd and about 13, they'll say. Colvin this time in the gun. So airs it out, and it's going to be an adjustment that's incomplete, almost intercepted. 2 Tigers were there. It was Gilder and it was Dean, unable to make the play, and it's 4th down.
That ball
They've been sniffing interceptions all night. I know they have the one. They've been sniffing it all night.
Passing the football, PurduePoly is 0 of 9. They have yet to have a completion, and you would think they do have the one interception off the tip, but yes, they've had opportunities. They could have 3 or 4 at this point.
Here's your problem, and this happens with every young program that's trying to develop. At some point in time, and I don't know when that time is going to be as we get a punting situation set up as Pinkston's back to receive, at some point in time, you realize that you're probably not going to change the outcome of where this game is. That was tipped at the line, I believe. It'll go out of bounds. They'll mark it. Let's see where they move up. Oh, they're going to stop at the 50. We'll get to the 41-yard line. It's about where Cliffhangers decides to stop things with 3:14 left to go in this first half. I always like to imagine the referee is that, if you recall the game from The Price is Right, where the I don't know the proper term, but
you're
no Price is Right, nothing for you. Come on, all right. Well, some of our older audience will know. You're
just a little bit older than me.
I mean, but we're talking what, 3 years, 4 years here? Nick, no. Cliffhangers, Price is Right, nothing. All right, anyway, the object, we're just here. We're going to talk about it anyway. Object of the game is if you miss on a certain dollar amount on a price item, this mountain climber is going to go, and your goal is to end the game before he. There it is. See, some of the booth knows what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Okay.
That's what I like to go with the ref. Well, they're trying to guess where the punt marker is.
That is so hard to figure out.
This is going to be a touchdown carry. It's going to come back though. Block in the back, likely the call. But Miller once again was racing down the sideline for what will be a called back touchdown. That's some game show history for you there, Jarrett.
Okay, I'll do.
And I'm happy. The reason I'm happy about the flag is because we didn't botch a touchdown call by talking about Price is Right.
No,
but anyway,
we didn't pull a Brenneman or whatever you might call that, where you're talking about something else and then. Okay, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Castellanos is not here tonight. Let's be clear on that. They might be picking up that flag. If they're picking up the flag, it's likely a touchdown.
And I think that's the case. They're moving the football to the PAT spot. Not sure why you would throw it and then wave it off, but
so Miller going to take it the distance there. 27-0. PAT pending. Probably for the best. Our production truck telling us they don't have a replay of that. All good.
Could have got a look to see if there was any activity.
I mean, it's tough to say, right? You trust these officials more often than not, and when you're running along with the play, you see something that looks unnecessary, you're going to throw that penalty. They instead pick it up. Chance to make it 28-0 on the point after try. Good snap, good hold. Kick is right down Broadway. 3:05 left to go in this first half. Tigers 28, Techies nothing. Stay with us on IndianaSRN.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Jimmy Cook alongside Jarrett Lewis. Thanks so much for joining us on a Friday night for high school football across Central Indiana. Our location tonight, Howe High School. 3:05 to go in this first half. Tindley Tigers taking control. They lead 28-0, getting ready to kick it off to the Techies. There's a bigger point that I want to get to in a moment as we wait for this kickoff. That's a nice end-over-ender that'll be taken at about the 22-yard line. Space there, hunting for it is McDowell. He continues to break tacklers. His best return of the night, all the way out to the 50-yard line. Been consistently at about the 35, now to the 50 on that carry. What I was mentioning earlier, and I don't know if I actually finished the point, Jarrett, was at some point as a young program like this, or as a team that's trying to develop their football program, you're going to realize that you're not going to change the outcome of tonight's game. I don't know if we're there yet. But if we reach that point, it no longer becomes we need to have Colvin take a 5 or 6 step drop, take a shot downfield every play. It doesn't need to be about that. You can go back to what you're best at, which is trying to run the football, trying to get better at that. I'm not saying don't throw the football. You should try to get better at all facets of the game, but at some point it becomes less about trying to get it all back in one play and trying to get better each down.
There's a reason why passing the football, they're 0 of 9 with 1 interception. So when they do pass the football, you would like to see some quick hitters. Colvin getting the ball out of his hand quickly to prevent that pressure from getting to him too fast.
They'll try to get the reverse again for Stowers. He's not going to get around the edge. Tackled from behind. That worked well for them on the last drive to open things up. Their first play with this type of field position, right from midfield. It's going to be a loss of 4, maybe 5 on the play.
Yeah, it worked well for them a drive ago, but Tindley was able to sniff it out. Look at how they got into the backfield so quickly. It looked like Glenn got there and kind of forced Stowers to bounce things outside. And then finishing up on the tackle was Kashawn McGill for Tindley.
Colvin in the gun on what we'll call a 2nd and 14 from their own 46. Colvin will take it, and he's swallowed up. No time. The O-line collapses. 3rd down.
Again, they've tried this play a couple of times. They're pulling the right guard. And from that side, Tindley, they have some guys on the defensive line with speed. They are meeting Colvin before he can even try to get upfield. Colvin's trying to bounce things outside when he's running to his left, and he can't get back to the line of scrimmage because that defensive line is so quick, so physical. And not being able to set the edge on the lead block was PurduePoly.
Yeah, you're having career days left and right from this defensive line. There's no doubt about it. Less than 90 seconds to go in this first half. Tigers will receive the football to begin the second half. 3rd and 20. Colvin, pressure coming, throws a screen. Going to be caught and tackled out of bounds was Stowers. Some Purdue faithful won a late hit there.
Those are the play calls we've been wanting to see from PurduePoly. You have Stowers just running a route out in the flat, just a simple out route, was able to pick up around 8 yards, but it's Colvin getting that ball out of his hands quickly. If the Tindley corners are going to play off of the receivers, you can throw those quick routes and try to pick up 7 or 8 yards of play.
Techies will once again ready to punt it away. About 1:09 left in this half. That one a nice side winder that the Techies will down at about the 28-yard line, so less than a minute to go. How do you play this if you're the Tigers, Jarrett? You got, like we said, 59 seconds left. You know you're going to get the ball to start the second half, and like I mentioned, some teams like to try for that double dip, get a quick score before halftime, and then know you're getting the ball when the intermission ends.
You got one timeout to use. You've thrown the ball deep a couple of times. Richmond has the arm. We've seen them try it. They've had a few just off the fingertips of the receivers, but it's been there. These Tindley receivers have been running some great routes, and Richmond has taken care of the football. He's thrown some ropes to some receivers. Fortunately, just a 1-for-8 game throwing the football so far. But I think Tindley will look to attack here.
They'll hand it off. That'll be a nice carry for the Tigers.
In a situation like this, you can start things off with a run just to see where it goes. Purdue probably might be expecting the pass, but now, after that run, definitely might see Tindley put the ball through the air. They initially looked like they're going to be aggressive, but a lot of time going off right now.
Yeah, they're being very, very conservative as things stand. Hampton looking at the play sheet. Be careful for a delay of game call. Takes the snap. They will indeed just hand it off and hope for a big gainer. Spinning and turning is Hampton. He'll gain the first down yardage. That'll stop the clock. First down yardage will stop the clock to move the chains, and let's see what the Tigers end up doing. If they'll let that end the half, they'll try for one more play before the intermission.
See how far Richmond may be able to get this ball off. He's in a position. They're at the 42, and still one timeout left to use.
We're going to have to get the chains set. Chains were late moving.
Now the clock's starting to run, and Tindley taking their time here.
Well, they might just take one shot to end the half or be a simple run play. Richmond, pressure coming. He's going to take a shot. Incomplete with 2 seconds to go. Make that 1 second to go. And what will the Tigers do? Get one final play before halftime. The Techies are happy to go to the locker room and Coach Cook get things reorganized and resituated.
Nice pressure applied by Stowers coming from the blind side of Richmond, and Richmond was hit as he threw. Didn't look like there was a whole lot going there for Tindley as far as a receiver open, but they would have been in a tough situation there anyways. But now just one play left before the half.
Different quarterback out there. It's a low snap and immediately swallowed up and thrown down to end the half. Good sack by the Techies. Elijah Girton, the freshman quarterback, was brought in for that play. Met with the turf. That'll end our first half of play. We're going to have an extended halftime for you. Might peek in a little bit to look at homecoming festivities, as it'll be both Tindley and PurduePoly celebrating their homecoming tonight. Jimmy Cook and Jarrett Lewis here with IndianaSRN. 28-0 your score. Tigers on top of the Techies. Stay with us. Second half upcoming in just a little bit after these messages.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service. Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Hi, I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to IHSAAfoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
Whether or not you've ever stepped into a church before, you've probably seen one of these, a Bible. It's the most read, most translated, most debated, most placed in a hotel room book of all time, and people have been reading it for thousands of years. And yet, for many of us, the Bible can feel really complex and intimidating. I mean, where do we start? And what does an ancient book have to do with everyday life in Murfreesboro, Tennessee? Well, there's a million different ways to start trying to get a better understanding of the Bible. You can read it on your own, study it with others, or even come to a service in Three Crosses or New Harvest Sanctuary to hear people teach about it. Heck, you can even take some classes about the Bible across I-24 at MTSU. But this year at World Outreach, we're going to try something a little different. We're going to dive in and look at the Bible as one great big story, to get to know the characters and storylines like we would if we were watching an epic movie. We're going to take a journey together along the timeline of this great story. Our hope is, in the end, that we'll see the Bible in new ways, that the story would come to life and change us, that we'll find that we truly have a mighty source in the Bible. So sit back, take a deep breath, and get ready, because here we go. The narrative of the Bible starts with God. The Bible is an unfolding drama about God and about what God is doing on planet Earth. The story begins with Earth in chaos and God beginning to bring order to that chaos. Over the course of 6 days, God spoke and our world began to take shape. Each day, God would stop and look at whatever was created, clouds or grass or mountains or raccoons, and think, that's good. The world was perfect, just as God intended it to be. Then, on the 6th day, God decided to make a creature called man by scooping up some dirt from the earth and breathing life into it. God named him Adam. God placed Adam in a garden that was full of plants and animals. Then, God told Adam it was his job to take care of everything in the garden, even to name each and every one of the animals. In the garden were 2 unique trees, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. God told Adam to eat anything from the garden, except for the fruit that came from the tree of knowledge. As you're probably already aware, the story doesn't end there. At some point, God decided it wasn't good for man to live alone. God wanted a suitable companion and helper for Adam, but nothing else God had created so far did the trick. So God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep and pulled a rib out of his body, using it to form another creature. God called this creature woman and named her Eve. After doing all this amazing work, God took a break on the 7th day. God gave a special blessing on this day of the week, setting it apart to be different than the other 6 days. Adam and Eve lived in the garden, enjoying a perfect relationship with one another. They lived perfectly with their surroundings, taking care of the earth as God had told them to. And they had a perfect relationship with God, spending time with God each day. Talk about mighty. That's some pretty amazing stuff God did. Not a bad start to the story, huh? Life, for now, was just as God had intended it to be.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 21 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake. Yeah.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got a counter right here. Isn't this where you place the orders?
We sell trophies, we sell plaques, we do embroidery. No food.
You got carry out?
Unlike the internet, everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
You know, Jim, I'll be back tomorrow to pick it all up.
We'll wait for you.
Don't wait long.
At the point we left off in the story, everything was going just as God had intended. God had given Adam and Eve a perfect world, and a perfect relationship with one another, with their surroundings, and with God. Yep, sounds a lot like today. People getting along, everybody loving God, taking care of the earth. Yeah, not so much. So what happened? Well, a serpent in the garden came to Adam and Eve and tried to convince them to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the same tree that God had told them not to. The serpent told them that they would be just like God if they ate from it. Well, we don't know what the exact kind of fruit was, an apple, an orange, or a juicy Tennessee tomato. And we don't know for sure whether they believed the serpent or wanted to find out for themselves. The fact of the matter is, Adam and Eve ate that fruit. This decision would change the course of history and had immediate consequences. Adam and Eve couldn't live in the garden anymore, and their perfect relationship with God and each other was broken. From there, things just seemed to get worse. One of Adam and Eve's sons murdered his brother, and their grandchildren did all sorts of wicked things. We're trying to keep it as PG as possible here at World Outreach, so we'll skip over the nastier details, but as the population of the earth grew, evil and wickedness took over. How would things ever get back to the way God had intended at the start of creation? At one point, things got so bad that God was sorry for ever creating humans. You heard that right. God was sorry for making humans. It's in the story. You can look it up. So, God decided to start over by wiping out the entire population of Earth with a great flood. He spared one man named Noah and his family and a bunch of animals that Noah loaded into a giant boat. But soon after the flood, Noah's kids and grandkids started to rebel against God, and some of them even completely forgot about God. Again, these parts of the story are better suited for an audience of 18 and up, but suffice to say, violence and hatred was everywhere. From the look of things, it seemed like there was just no hope for human beings. But God's plan was still emerging. God appointed a special group of people to be a blessing to others and help bring things back to the way they were intended to be. God started this group with one man named Abraham, telling him that God would use his family to bless the rest of the world for generations to come. There was just one problem. Abraham didn't have any children. None. Zero. Which might not have been a problem, except that he was already 75 years old, and his wife Sarah was far too old to have children. Wow. Imagine what it would be like if God told one of the oldest couples in this church that they were going to have a baby. Can you imagine your reaction? Can you imagine their reaction? As difficult to believe and downright silly as the promise seemed, Abraham and Sarah waited for God to make good on it. And sure enough, Sarah actually became pregnant, giving birth to a son they named Isaac, which means laughter. And so it began. Isaac grew up, married, and had twin sons. One of these twins, Jacob, got married and had 12 sons of his own. These 12 sons became the leaders of 12 tribes in this new nation, a nation that would bless all people. God gave this nation a name, Israel. It seems God had a way of following through on a promise, just not always the way Abraham, Sarah, or even we might expect.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to How High School. Jimmy Cook alongside Jarrett Lewis for IndianaSRN's coverage of high school football in conjunction with the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Less than 7 minutes to go in our halftime festivities. Shout out to both Tindley and PurduePoly honoring their homecoming court, respectively, for both programs. 28-0 your score. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into this as the second half unfolds. But, Jarrett, when you look at that first half, let's start first with the tough conversation, and that is with this PurduePoly program. We understand they're continuing to grow day by day. There's a program that Coach Cook wants to grow organically. It's what he's trying to establish here. And that's been a rough season for them, but they're trying to get better. Like we said, possession by possession, down by down, quarter by quarter, game by game. That is their end goal. From what you saw of them in that first half and what the Tigers are trying to take away from them, what adjustments or what strides do you want to see them make here in the second half?
Well, Tindley continued to bring the pressure. They brought 6 guys, sometimes 7 guys, and it affected Colvin. And he had to get the ball out quickly, and it didn't help that the routes they were running were deeper routes. They were 8+ yard routes. When we saw a couple times they tried to throw the quick hitters, and it worked once or twice. Colvin only has 1 completion out of 9 attempts. So I think in this second half, I think Coach Cook is going to be able to figure out that they can try to throw some quick hitters. They can, make Tindley pay for bringing 6 or 7 guys and bringing that pressure and allow Colvin to get it out of his hand quickly and try to get it to some of his playmakers. We saw Stowers, the longest play offensive, or the second longest play offensively was that pass they completed for 8 yards, but the actual longest play they completed was on a jet sweep. He had 16-yard pickup, so that's the longest play offensively that PurduePoly has here tonight. But Tindley was able to figure that play out. They ran it a second time, and they stopped him for a loss of 5 yards. So I think if you're going to try and pass the football, if you're PurduePoly, get those quick hitters, throw those slants, those hitches, try to get it to some of your playmakers. Some guys we haven't been able to mention tonight because they haven't touched the football quite yet, but credit Tindley for applying the pressure. I expect we'll see more of that from them in the second half.
We're going to step away for a couple minutes. When we come back, we'll have more of our thoughts on that first half and ultimately the kickoff to open half number 2. Tindley will receive that second half, kickoff. It's a battle for the mini bucket, a little ode to the old Oaken bucket rivalry between Purdue and IU. Both these schools affiliated with those programs respectively. PurduePoly obviously with Purdue, Tindley with IU. Again, 28-0 Tigers on top of the Techies at the break. Don't go anywhere. Back after this on IndianaSRN.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Still on the boat, man.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to Howell High School. Jimmy Cook and Jarrett Lewis coming to you for second half coverage here in just a few minutes. Tindley on top of PurduePoly 28-0. Before we get to that, let's take a little bit of a journey around our IndianaSRN family of networks and beyond. Plenty of teams on the gridiron tonight across central Indiana. Jarrett has some of those scores.
Yeah, we have a halftime score of North Newton and Frontier tied up at 6 apiece. Also at the half, Lapel all over Traders Point 31-7. Mooresville on top of Franklin 45-7. And Mount Vernon, our last update, they were on top of Pendleton Heights 22-0 late in the second quarter. Also another game that you can watch on the family of networks, Heritage Christian over Covenant Christian 28-14, that game at the half.
We're to step out one more time. We come back, we'll have final thoughts before the second half kick. Tigers receive the football with a 28-point lead on IndianaSRN. What up?
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
Jimmy Cook alongside Jarrett Lewis. Tindley and PurduePoly started the second half, about to get underway from Howell High School. Should be noted, Jarrett, some roots within the Cook family. The late Papa Cook, my father, graduate of Howell High School back when it was still a fully functioning, operating high school. Did they still operate the high school?
Actually,
okay. You looked at me weird, so I'm going to assume that. I'm going to say they don't because they've done a lot of different closures across the high schools and different mergers. I'm like 90% certain they don't. But anyway, a late great Papa Cook, a grad of Howell. I believe Keith spent some time or had a cup of coffee at Howell as well. I don't know if he graduated from there. I apologize, Coach.
Keith's been a little bit everywhere.
Coach has been around the block. But anyway, little ode there out of the Cook family. So we're about to get underway with this second half.
Beautiful school, by the way.
Very, very nice.
If you look behind the bleachers behind the press box, and there's kind of an archway type door.
Ben, you could probably just spin around and not worry.
It is quite the structure, quite the high school.
Ben Wood confirming that the coach did graduate from Howell as well. So there you go. So plenty of Howell ties run deep in the IndianaSRN family of networks. I myself and most of my family Roncalli alums, but the patriarch, Bob Cook, a graduate of Howell High. Start of the second half. Techies will boot it deep. They'll go with an onside kick out of the gate, diving on it and recovering it are the Tigers. Little sneak-a-roo. Little Sean Payton action out of the gate by PurduePoly, trying to catch him napping. No such luck. Tigers will be in excellent field position to open up this second half.
Kind of an ode to Purdue there as well. The Saints with Drew Brees running the little onside.
Plenty of ties there. The Purdue tie runs deep. Plenty of connections you can make there. 2 touchdowns on the ground. Make that 3 touchdowns on the ground, rather, for the Tigers. 1 punt return for a touchdown. That's their scoring summary in that first half. Richmond will be in the gun. Their first play from scrimmage, half number 2. Hands it off to Hampton. Hampton trying to get space. He'll be near the first down marker, maybe a yard short, gain of 9 on the play. 2nd and 1, we'll call it.
Hampton had a really solid first half, 8 carries for 47 yards. Gets things going right here to get him 55 on the night. The run game was spectacular. First 2 drives for Tindley. They just had so many holes for Hampton and Richmond, to run through, and going back to it to start off this second half as well.
Call it 2nd and 2 officially. Almost a bobbled snap. They're able to get the handoff to go, and first down yardage is picked up. I believe that might have been Dean on the carry. Let's wait for confirmation.
The entire team tackles the ball carrier.
Out of the bottom of the pile, helmet comes off. It was Hampton again, so.
Yep, good eye. Thought it was. They went the other way with it. Hampton's helmet comes off, so he'll have to sit out for a play. He's at the bottom of the pile there.
Get another look at it. Richmond he knew that, looks like he just knew Hampton was there, as he didn't get that snap in cleanly, but it was just able to tip it into the hands of Hampton, who comes out for just one play.
Richmond in the gun. Kind of a low snap. Fires. It's caught near the sideline by Pinkston. He stayed in bounds, gets the first down. That's what you want if you're the Tigers. Get a nice, easy completion to get things rolling a little bit better there, Jarrett.
That was a great read by Richmond. It was way too easy. Pinkston had so much room to work with, running that out route towards the sideline. Defenders are 6 yards off, throwing it at the break. Good timing between Richmond and Pinkston on the connection there for 12.
Richmond receives directions from the sideline. Looks at his play sheet. Now we'll reset things. Glenn at the bottom of your screen. He's going to loft it up there near corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers. I believe it's Pinkston again. Able to get underneath the moon shot. Point after try away from 35-0. What a strike.
30-yard connection and just a little one-step drop. They were looking at him the whole way was Richmond, and it's a matter of speed. Pinkston, a well-placed ball, and Pinkston's able to run right underneath it for the score.
Point after try away, 35-0. Kick is good. 10:21 left to go in this first half. Tigers 35, Techies 0 on IndianaSRN.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
$35-0, all Tigers. 10:21 left to go in this third quarter. Jimmy Cook alongside Jarrett Lewis. Can't call you the coach, Jarrett. You haven't had enough tenure just yet.
I've had a lot of experience with Coach, and that's all I call him now.
There we go. That's all anybody does. End over ender. Going to be taken by McDowell. He's looking for space. McDowell breaks one tackle. He might be able to spin this for a touchdown. Let's see McDowell all the way to midfield. Looked like he might be headed for pay dirt. One man to beat, could not sneak past. McDowell, one of the high-level bright spots for the Techies in this ball game, in the return game. Let's take one more look at it.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Jimmy, was he's been a bright spot, McDowell has, and breaking 3 or 4 tackles here. Thought he was going to go for a second, but gets slowed down towards the end, and that's the only area we've seen McDowell in this game has just been in the return spot for PurduePoly. He hasn't been out on the offensive side of the football, but he has been a bright spot, giving good offensive field position.
Colvin in the gun. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They'll hand it off. That'll be immediately wrapped up on the carry was Wright. Make that Wheeler, rather.
Brian Stanfield meeting him in the backfield. Stanfield has had a great game defensively. And this defensive line has won the battle in the trenches. And if it's ever a Purdue Poly that is getting to that second level, it's guys like Stanfield that have met them and prevented any chunk yardage plays from Purdue Poly.
There haven't been a ton of them tonight, Jarrett, but when they've been there, they've been very efficient.
There's only been one play of 10-plus yards for Purdue Poly, and the second longest play that they have was 8.
That jet sweep where they had the most success.
And that was Stowers. He's the man moving from right to left now in the slot.
Colvin takes the snap. He'll hand it off. Churning the legs is Wheeler. It'll be a gain of 2, maybe 3 on the play. It'll bring up third down.
Going left side off tackle. Wheeler, that's just his third carry tonight.
And this is what I mentioned earlier in the game, Jarrett. You're at a point right now, if you're Purdue Poly, comeback attempt is not there tonight. But again, you don't want to waste this opportunity to continue to build your program and get better. You're sticking with what you do best. That is the run game.
This is a spot where you're looking to learn, you're looking to get better, you're looking to improve on the basics because you still have a couple of games left in this regular season.
Handoff again is to Wheeler, trying to get around the edge, spins, turns, and is brought down. It'll be fourth down for the Techies. Decision time for Coach Cook. This is where you can go either way because you want to continue to get better, but at the same time, you know pride's going to factor in with your whole team, and you don't want to necessarily just go for it out of the blue. We'll have a conversation to talk about it. Timeout taken by the Techies. We'll take one as well. 7:19 left to go in this third quarter. Tigers 35, Techies nothing on IndianaSRN.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
$7:19 left in this third quarter. Decision time for the Techies of Purdue Poly. They trail 35-0, but it's 4th and 8 from the 43-yard line of the Tigers. They love to run the football, but this is a tough situation to do it. See if they decide to pass. Haven't gone to that well a ton tonight. Colvin looks in. Evaluates things at the line. Takes the snap. Drops back. Pressure coming. Fires an end-over-ender that is picked off and intercepted. Picked off and intercepted by Pinkston. Had to go up for that, did Jaden. But he's having himself, I don't want to go as far as to say a career night, but a heck of a night on both sides of the ball, Jarrett.
He sure has, and he's had the 30-yard punt return touchdown, just had the last score on a 30-yard receiving touchdown, and here getting another interception. Going up for that football, that's what you're taught during practice as a DB. You go up at its high point, and you bring it down, and Pinkston, he's a tall guy. He's a hard guy to box out and try to wrangle that football away from him.
So Tigers offense will be back out there. So they set things up right in front of us. Elijah Gurton, the freshman now, in the gun. That snap falls behind him, and he's going to try to make something happen out of nothing. He's got space. Make that Ty Miller, rather. Miller gets the first down and more before he's finally thrown out of bounds deep into Techies territory at the 40-yard line.
Well, it looked like disaster to begin this drive, and it is Miller taking the snaps now. Bad snap. and just overrunning the play. It looked like Purdue Poly's defense, and then
Miller's a do-it-all.
He is.
Doing a little bit of everything.
On his just 4 carries for him tonight, and he has 78 total yards rushing. It's pretty good yards per carry mark for Ty Miller.
So Miller in the gun, Hampton to his right side. 1st and 10 from the Techies 40. They lead at 35-0 here in this third quarter. Might have been early movement, and indeed it was a miscommunication, much to the dismay of Coach Graham and company. And I'll move him back.
There's that Ed Hockley moment. Looked like 5 different players for Tindley moving.
Everyone but the center, right?
Everybody but the center.
Center never gets the blame.
Wells Gumpton may have been on the right side of things. I'm not sure because half the team for Tindley was moving.
Miller, screen pass to Hampton. Trying to make things happen. Has space and finally brought down from behind. He'll get the penalty yardage back and then some. Be 2nd down and about 5, I think. Maybe 6.
Hampton's such a tough guy to bring down, so shifty. And you saw it again. Purdue Poly's defense kind of overrunning the play. And Hampton, being so shifty, is able to go from right to left so easily and make that cut. Watch, left to right cut, nicely done by Hampton. Getting some nice yards after the catch.
Can't complain with that. So we'll call it 2nd and about 6. Miller running the option here. Has a blocker in front of him. Walking the sideline. Finally shoved out of bounds. Near the 25-yard line. Enough to move the chains for the 1st down, Tindley. Tigers starting to exude to different ways they can beat you with their depth, Jarrett.
Yeah, we're seeing Miller and Hampton being so much involved in this possession. A lineman getting downfield, you love to see that, but Miller, those two guys, Miller and Hampton now combined, have 16 carries for well over 150 yards rushing.
Miller in trouble, fires incomplete.
First time we've seen Purdue Poly bring pressure to the quarterback. Tindley has had a little bit of success in the passing game. They're 5 of 14 now as a team after Miller had that 8-yard completion. But the first time we've seen a Purdue Poly defender get into that backfield and force a tough throw from Tindley.
You got to give credit to the Techies there. Staying consistent throughout the night, finally able to break through for some pressure. 2nd down now.
It's just this run game from Tindley has been so hard to stop for Purdue Poly. We can expect between Miller and Hampton, they'll go back to it here on 2nd and 10.
Miller, low snap. They're going to have to dive on it. They'll try to make another broken play happen. Truck stick dealt out by Hampton. Gain of 5, maybe 6 there.
Trying to see who that was on the bad end of that trucking, but you're just
we have another look at that.
Pushing forward on that left stick, and now we have a penalty thrown after the play.
Let's take a look at the play itself. This completely broken from the start. Look at Hampton. Lowering the boomstick.
And that's not a very big body in Hampton. He's only 5'7", 180. But that is a lot of force, a lot of fight in Hampton, who's had such a good night. 11 carries for 70 yards is Hampton. Now we'll check on this flag, which came well after the final whistle.
Officials clarifying things. They have stopped the clock, setting both teams to their respective sidelines. We will take a break as well. 1:37 left to go in this third quarter. Tigers 35, Techies nothing on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that fuels your passion for sports and physical activity. IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences offers that and more. You'll have insider access to sports, fitness, and exercise science professionals and learn from faculty with years of industry experience. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll study next to world-class sports facilities, Olympic governing bodies, the NCAA, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sports industry career. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Personal foul after the play on Tindley Tigers.
Back at Howe High School. Personal foul called against Tindley after all is said and done. Jimmy Cook alongside Jarrett Lewis. 35-0 your score. Tindley on top, but they're going to say some extracurriculars, I believe. Tough from our vantage point. I can't imagine it was after the hit.
But it was a situation where the head referee had to have a conversation with the sideline of Tindley and the head coach. And so now you have the penalty moving Tindley back. They've had some real good success running the football, getting well into PurduePoly territory, but now this has halted all the movement that they had.
And it's kept the clock as well locked at 1:37 until the officials designate that to go. This is still the third quarter. All good to keep things rolling. Here are the Tigers. Third and forever. Another low snap, broken play. Miller blockers in front of him. They'll gain maybe 4 on the play. Tigers will have to run one more play in this third quarter, and it will be 4th down. So now we get to see Jarrett once again. That time was questioned. Do you go for it, or do you try to punt things away?
I'm not sure because it's.
Because we haven't
seen, with Miller in, we've only seen one pass attempt. We haven't seen Dion Richmond now for the past 2 possessions. So it looks like they will go for it.
Miller going to air it out deep downfield, has a man, touchdown Tigers! Was it Pinkston again?
Who else?
Of course it was. Jaden Pinkston. A 43-yard strike from Ty Miller. 41-0 Tigers.
So I guess the question wasn't, are they going to go for it? It was, how far can Miller throw the football? And he threw that one 40 yards downfield to Pinkston, who now has his 3rd total touchdown.
Now I'm willing to say career day. Now I feel comfortable saying career day for Pinkston.
Pinkston has 2 touchdown receptions in just 4 total receptions.
And we're still in the third quarter.
So half of his receptions have gone for touchdowns.
Can you imagine if you had Jaden Pinkston in your fantasy line?
He's having a career. He's having an Aaron Jones type day like what Jones had last week. Although he's 1 touchdown shy of Jones. But yeah, the fantasy points are looking good tonight for Pinkston. He only has 4 catches for 96 yards. So big chunk plays, and he's just been going straight downfield.
Tigers elect not to use the timeout unless they want to do it now. But assuming they don't, it's a delay of game penalty. They will just let the penalty stand, and now a little bit longer of a point after try. No longer freebie range, Jarrett.
I stand corrected. Pinkston has over 100 yards receiving tonight. So 4 catches for 104. 2 touchdown receptions, and he also had that 30-yard punt return for a touchdown.
And a 2-point try. I believe he might have had I think he might have had the 2-point try pass. They'll go for 2 here. There's a loft pass over the head of his intended receiver, and that will end this third quarter. Let's wait for official confirmation before we step away. But either way, it's a touchdown break anyway. So 4th quarter upcoming after this. Tindley 41, Purdue nothing. On IndianaSRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Back here at Howe High School. Start of the fourth quarter. Tigers dominating pretty much all phases of the game to this point. Jimmy Cook alongside Jarrett Lewis. That's kind of been the story to this point. But the story within that is the electric performance on both sides of the football from Jada Pinkston.
He has been terrific. Just 4 catches, and half of those have gone for touchdowns. Catches of 24, 12, 30, and 38. And this one is the 38-yard touchdown.
Put it on a rope, let her fly.
We weren't sure how far Miller could throw it, but Pinkston able to outrun everybody, and Miller put it on a dot.
If you ask Miller how far he can throw it, just enough. That's all you need.
38, 37 to be exact. But Miller has done well. He's done his job. We haven't seen Richmond in a while the past 2 possessions, maybe an injury, but Miller has been able to step in at that quarterback shoe.
McDowell almost had a house call last time. He's trying to create something here, spinning around, and is finally going to be brought down near the 45-yard line. That's where the Techies will set up shop, trying to put some points on the board on this drive. I believe we have some scores from around our IndianaSRN family of networks. Take a look at those here.
Let's take a look at that scoreboard, Jimmy. End of the third quarter, Heritage Christian saw a scare from Covenant. Warriors were able to make it a 1-score game at 28-21, but now at the end of the third, the Eagles lead at 34-21. End of 3, North Newton still tied up with Frontier at 6. There's a final at Franklin with Mooresville defeating Franklin 45-14. And last we checked, LaPel was on top of Traders Point 31-15. That game late in the third quarter. One final score, Mount Vernon all over Pendleton Heights, 43-0 as they enter the fourth and final quarter.
As we're going through those scores, once again, Tigers able to get through, get a stop for the loss. So we'll call it 2nd and 15 for the Techies. I want to remind you we will have high school sports all across the IndianaSRN family of networks into this weekend and beyond. Plus, Jared, I believe you have some college action coming your way on Saturday. There's a nice pass near the sidelines. It'll get most of that initial loss back, so we'll call it 3rd and about 10, but college action on your docket this weekend,
Yeah,
Jared.
IndianaSRN, October 2nd, so 2 Saturdays from now, not tomorrow, but next Saturday, Mount St. Joseph traveling to Bluffton. It's a 1:30 kickoff. It'll be right here on IndianaSRN. So the inaugural Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference game of the week right here on IndianaSRN. Myself and Sean Kroll, along with the coach on the sideline.
I know the IndianaSRN family is looking forward to that. Hats off to you there, good sir. They'll knock it out of the park.
Looking forward to it. Excited to make the long trip to Bluffton, Ohio.
Motion by the Techies. A little too much of it. It's a false start. So I'll move it back for 3rd and long.
Speaking of more games, we have soccer tomorrow. North Putnam at Greencastle. That's a boys-girls soccer doubleheader starting at 10. And then that's the girls first. Boys will begin things around noon. And then South Bend St. Joe at Gearin Catholic tomorrow. Girls soccer, 1 p.m. start time there. Ben, The cameraman upstairs. He's with the coach tomorrow for soccer. North Putnam at Greencastle.
Always good to spend a Saturday on the pitch.
We've seen some really, really good soccer teams this year, boys and girls.
Colvin finds space to McDowell. He may go. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Techies. No flags on the field. McDowell finally finds pay dirt, and PurduePoly's on the board.
We mentioned earlier how McDowell was not involved at all on the offensive side of things, and finally they put him out here. It's a quick hitter, Colvin. Get it to your guy in space. Get it to him quickly and let him do the rest of the work. 57 yards, and all of those yards after the catch for number 35 of Carter McDowell.
Techies fans here in attendance love to see it. I'm going to go for 2 here. Colvin, high snap, pressured, fires, incomplete. Wanted to get rid of the football, and he does. 41-6 your score, 7:32 left to play here in the fourth quarter on IndianaSRN. Back at Howe High School, 7:32 left to go in this final quarter. Jimmy Cook and Jarrett Lewis, so thankful to be bringing you the action here on IndianaSRN and the IndianaSRN family of networks. Jarrett, scoring drive put together by PurduePoly. Carter McDowell, house call.
Yeah, he's had, 7 or 8 kickoff returns. And now finally his first touch that isn't in the special teams category, takes it 57 yards, runs past everybody. It's good to see PurduePoly get on the scoreboard. They didn't score at all last week against Crispus Attucks and only put up 6 against the Noblesville Homeschool in week 4. But a good looking offensive play there. We talked about how Tindley was applying that quick pressure, and now PurduePoly was able to answer with a quick hitter.
You go inside here? I'm serious. They did it to open the half. They did.
Might as well.
All right.
Might as well.
It is an onside kick. Tigers on it immediately. Gotta love the effort, though.
That's what I miss about McAfee, those surprise onside kicks.
It's going to be done away with at some point. It is. Like, I don't know what, in general, kickoffs are just not going to be a thing anymore.
The conversion rate of onside kicks is 6%?
If that. And if that. And if you go, if you kind of take a micro look at it and you shrink it down from the last 2 or 3 seasons, it's even worse than that. It just does not happen.
It's gone down the past 5 years.
And that's all about player safety, which I know you and I are both for, but that's no longer an element of a way to try to get back into a game anymore. It's just not there. Unless you catch everybody completely napping, and even then, it just doesn't happen.
It would be strange to see each drive started at the 25-yard line, but yes, I think you're right. Just with the way kickers' legs are, they're always going to kick it out of the back of the end zone.
Low snap. Scooped up and running with it was Elijah Girton, but there is some laundry down. Look in the area of holding.
And the chains are already moved, so now they're going to have to take things back.
It's tough. It's tough when you remember the chain gang, particularly if you're a one chain gang crew. You don't have anybody backing you up on the across the sideline. It's just you.
The scoreboard says they were at the 50. So it looks like they'll know to go back. But it also spotted the foul on the hold.
Yep.
So that'll take things back. It won't be exactly the 50-yard line. They'll have to figure that out. The referees will.
But you'll likely reset things, and it'll still be first down yardage initially. So it's one of those, again, that's the strange thing about the high school level. You're going to get the first down, and we're gonna say that it's the first down, but then your next crack at the with a fresh set of downs is going to be 1st and 15. Or I guess it's spot foul, so it might not be 15 every time. You know what I mean? First down and a smidge. Handoff up the middle. Bruising their way near the first down marker.
The funniest aspect about those rules is when it's like a 4-yard pickup.
Mosey on the carry.
4-yard pickup, and you may have a holding down the field. So now you tack on the penalty yards, and now it's going to be like 1st and 16. It's a random number. It's the funniest.
You're basically, here's what you do. You have a little pouch for your ref, and it's just a bunch of cut-up numbers. You just pull it out. North of 10, of course, because it's got to be 10. And then, 18. First to 18, that's where we're going. All right, good.
That sounds like that's for the XFL.
You're probably right. They're thinking about that on the reboot. Another botched snap. This one again going to be scooped up and taken for extra yardage by Girton. I'll tell you one thing. What Tindley's going to have to improve on as the season goes on, and I'm sure that Coach Graham is aware, there have been more botched snaps tonight than I think I've seen in my entire career watching football prior.
I was going to say so far this entire season.
I feel comfortable going further than that. At least of games I've seen.
I think you're right.
I mean, then they've gotten away with it. Like that's an area for the Techies to continue to improve on.
I would guess if you were to take the last 5 botched snaps from Tindley, they're getting about 5 or 6 yards.
That's insane. Gurn almost stripped from behind, able to break the tackle. Now he's got a block, trying to get around the edge, and he does. Late push out of bounds near the bleacher. They will not throw the flag. Enough to move the chains, though.
Scary situation there. It looks like you don't normally see a player get close to a bleacher like that.
I'll take a look at this. How much of it was his momentum and how much of it was the shove afterwards?
How about avoiding that first tackle?
Yeah, that was extra.
Slid a little bit.
He did slide a little bit too, but you didn't need that. He was giving himself up on the sideline.
He kind of lost his footing a little bit at the end, but how about Girton making something out of nothing?
Elijah Girton. Final 3 minutes left to go in this one. Girton takes the snap. Incomplete. Looking for Pinkston. He was not ready for it.
It was there. Pinkston run 8 or 9 yards. Did he get to the line? And hitch back. It was right there.
Girton's only a freshman, listed at 140, 5'5". I want to see the little guy take a shot. If you have the opportunity, run another go route with Pinkston. I'm not saying force it completely, but might as well.
How about being in the spot and being a freshman, getting these varsity-type reps?
That's the other great thing about the setup they have right here is getting an opportunity to continue to grow at different levels.
And I'm sure he loves being able to work with a receiver like Pinkston. They're going to work on those routes like that.
Girton, quick slant, left it short. Bring up third and about 10. We approach 2 minutes left to go in this one. A reminder, if you missed any of the action tonight, go to IndianaSRN.org. Rewatch those broadcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube page by searching IndianaSRN.org on YouTube. Low snap. Gonna take a shot. Air it deep. It's caught. Pinkston dragging tacklers to the 5. What'd I tell you, Jarrett? Just throw it up there for Pinkston, see what happens.
You wanted to see it one time. You got your one time.
This broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, or audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. What a shot downfield in between 2 defenders. Pinkston just muscles that play. They're inside the 5 now.
Pinkston has only caught 5 balls tonight, but they've come from 3 different quarterbacks. Now with Girton getting that one to him for 32 yards.
See where they go now. Low snap again, and this time they will not get away with it. Kendall Day sniffs it out.
And you love Girton. He's looking over the sideline. He wants to run some plays. He wants to get his team in the end zone, even with being up 35 and under a minute left to go. He's staying aggressive. He wants to get as many reps, as many looks as he can. So you appreciate that about the freshman, able to put together some nice quality late minutes here in this fourth quarter.
Pressure coming. Fire has an man open. Caught for the touchdown. Touchdown Tigers. There's a flag down, though, but for the moment, Donovan Gilder, the senior, has a touchdown snag. Points might be coming off.
Looks like it is. Initial look from the referees was a holding call.
That's tough. That's tough, man.
It is. And with zeros on the scoreboard as well.
And that'll end the ball game. Points come off the board. 31-6, your final in favor of Tindley. The inaugural battle for the mini bucket. Tigers win it in regulation.
What a game. The inaugural mini bucket, and it's going to go in favor of the school of the
And if we
IU
zoom in, we look at the gentleman in the Tindley shirt. There it is. There it is, Ben. There's the mini bucket. Not bad. It's nice.
It is, in fact, a mini bucket.
It is. Again, we mentioned this, an ode to the old Oaken bucket, the rivalry between IU and Purdue, the trophy they use, one on the gridiron. Tindley, of course, affiliated with IU. PurduePoly affiliated with Purdue. And the first Oaken bucket game, should say mini bucket game, my apologies. First mini bucket game in this series between these two programs. To the victor go the spoils. Tigers getting that mini bucket put in the trophy case for a year.
Well deserved. And how about that? Pleasure for us here at IndianaSRN to be a part of that.
History tonight, Jared.
Who knows? From now until who knows how long we'll be able to see this mini bucket, and we'll look back and we'll remember the very first game of the mini bucket.
It'll stand out, though, the running game of the Tigers in particular when you look back at this first mini bucket game. Just name a player. They probably had an impact on this ball game. As the game went on, though, Jaden Pinkston through the air, phenomenal.
Yeah, Tindley was able to keep their offensive attack to be balanced. They only had 16 pass attempts all night. Pinkston was the beneficiary of 5 of those for 136 yards receiving. No doubt in conversation for player of the game. Definitely gets my vote. 3 total touchdowns. Had that punt return touchdown back in the second quarter. Huge part of this game. And defensively also had the interception. So on all sides of the ball, Pinkston and his team deserving that mini bucket.
We'll leave it to the PA crew briefly as the mini bucket is presented to the Tindley Tigers.
Real cool scene here.
Await the presentation of the mini bucket, the inaugural presentation of it.
You love that being a high school player. You're playing for something a little bit more.
And you have ties to the programs as well. You know, maybe you grew up an IU fan or a Purdue fan, and now you're getting an opportunity here at Howe to raise your own version of the old Oaken bucket, the mini bucket in this case. What a moment.
And when you talk about teams like Tindley and PurduePoly, teams that are in some way or another trying to build up their program and make it the best that they can.
Get a touch of it. Get a touch of the bucket.
This is something that's really cool and can kind of give a little extra edge, a little extra motivation to both sides, something that they'll want to play for and they'll look forward to it every single year.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and hopefully it's not only that, but it builds and continues to grow these two communities and adds a nice new wrinkle into the rivalry, into the chatter. I was wondering if they were going to have, I see the chain there now. I'm curious if they're going to have like Tindley tees. They are? Okay. Press box nods. Yep. That's awesome. That is fantastic.
Little traveling trophy. Add the letters or the logos, and who knows, after a long time, we'll see. We could see us at IndianaSRN hopefully being able to see that traveling trophy and that little mini bucket passed around throughout the years to come.
Well, the Techies will fall to 1-5 on the season and lose the inaugural mini bucket game. Additionally, they'll next be in action a week from tonight when they take on Indianapolis, Washington. That on the road, a 7 o'clock start there. Meanwhile, for the Tigers, they're a game closer now to 500, 2-3 on the campaign. They'll be on the road against West Dell at West Dell. That's a 7:30 start time there on IndianaSRN. Jarrett, some final thoughts on this one.
Well, Tindley just came in and took care of business. They had some great performances. Richmond starting things out at quarterback, and then having Hampton and Miller really control that run game. Props to the offensive line, and props to Pinkston, arguably the player of the game.
For Jarrett Lewis, I am Jimmy Cook. Again, our final in this one in the inaugural mini bucket game. Tindley over PurduePoly 41-6. Until we talk to you next time, so long, everybody. Yards receiving and 3 total touchdowns. One of those a punt return touchdown to help Tindley get this mini bucket inaugural game. Stay tuned for all the latest on IndianaSRN.org. For Jarrett Lewis, I'm Jimmy Cook for the Sports Page. I'm in. Sick. Do you need anything there? No. You guys are all right. Thank you very much for all your help tonight. Thank you. Great work. It was. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Yeah, so all those guys we were talking about for Tindley, wait till you see them like that. Gilder is incredible. Yeah, when they had 2014. They went to semi-state this past year and got ran out of Southern Indiana. They were in the other team was shooting double bonus in the first quarter. And they ended up losing by about 7.
I think you get Nick.
We get to see them a couple times a year. So yeah,
so much fun.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
No problem. You too.
I'm gonna put this on Twitter.
Thanks, man. Good job.
Yeah, no problem. That's awesome. Great work, Ben. Later, Ben. Have a good weekend. What up? Put it down here.
I could tell when your demeanor switched to anger about the game. It's like, I don't care. You weren't talking, you were super focused, and then like with 5 minutes left in the first, you started not really caring. Just wanted to be juicy. Do you see Devin? That's all right. Like we beat them at the basketball and then
is that all you got?
Volleyball and soccer.
And the prank part.
We won the prank part. Are they gonna win basketball? Is that what I'm hearing? They'll win boys basketball.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
They don't have wrestling. That's automatic. We'll win baseball. We'll win track.
That was cool that everybody came together.
That's it, right? Track? Yeah. Softball. Who knows softball? We actually have two coaches already. Coach King and who's the other one? We have an assistant. Yeah, I can't remember her name. Does she work at the school? What do you think 7-7's chain is? Who knows? My plan is not to be. We'll see how that